new feature now available in SEG version 5.02, which is adding a common bed. In some cases, you may have two nozzles like those. They are near to each other, and you can figure that the reinforced beds are close and they have a clash. So how to add a common rebed for those nozzles? At the beginning, let's remove the rebeds from each nozzle like that. So after removing that, now let's add a common rebed. So from external attachments, now you will find a new feature here called common rebed. Now let's add a rebed. And from here, when you select it, you will find two different types. As you can figure, for the first type, the edge here is a straight edge, but on the second type, you can make it with a fillet or a radius between the two center lines. Now let's select the first type of the reinforced bed and define the rebed thickness, the first nozzle location, and the first nozzle orientation, and the second nozzle outside diameter. So let's measure the outside diameter of the second one. We may take that value as a copy. And here for the first nozzle diameter and first nozzle bed width and the second nozzle location and the orientation and the outside diameter of the rebed, the outside diameter of the second nozzle, and here the rebed width. Now let's click on save. Now when you click on start, you will update the nozzles to make them without rebeds, and now a separate common rebed will be attached to the model. As you can see, now you have a common rebed for both of nozzles like that. And if you would like to get a sheet metal development for this piece, so you can open that part and get sheet metal development by that way. And now let's discuss another feature available in the new release. Another feature now available in this release, which is adding internal anodes. So when you select the can, for example, and from the internal attachments, you will find a new item here called anodes. So let's add the first anode. And from here, by selecting the node from the tree, you will be able to change the dimensions of this anode according to the image on the right hand side. Now let's define the location of this one and define the orientation and click on save. Now let's add another anode. And let's make it looks like anode 1. And let's change the orientation and click on save. Now let's create those anodes. Here if we take a look from the front side, now we have those anodes on the internal side of the shell. Now let's discuss another feature available in this release, which is the compatibility with the Autodesk nesting tool. A new feature available now, which is the compatibility with Autodesk nesting tool. Here we have this model for this vessel. All parts are sheet metal parts. We take a look to the SEG3. Here we have this nozzle, and the neck of this nozzle is a nozzle from plate with thickness 10 millimeters, and here that's the material. The second nozzle with the same type, which is a nozzle neck from plate. And here we have this type of support cradle. Okay, all parts are sheet metal parts and another type of cradle. Now we will make a nesting study for this model. So from here, let's select the assembly and create a nesting study. From here, select standard millimeter nesting study. And now the nesting tool will detect the items and compare the materials and thicknesses. So now the nesting tool detects that all materials are the same and all thicknesses are the same. Now we will click OK to accept or yes to accept the item, and the nesting tool now creating the sheet metal development for the parts. Now, as you can see here, we have an issue with the that part, which is nozzle N1. And now let's accept this. We need to check the issue with that one. So let's open part number 1. And from here, let's go inside that part and create the sheet metal development for this one. I think it's okay, no issues with it. So let's come back here to the nesting study and check, update the material here. Let's delete this one, and from here define the length of the available plate and the width of that one. Define the material to be with that name. And now let's create our study. One more thing here for the rebed for the that cradle and the development of this plate. We will change the number of items to be 2 pieces, and for that one, let's define it to be 2 pieces. Now let's create the nesting study. Select the suitable options for the arrangement and create your study. Now, as you can see, we have the arrangement of plates here. That's nozzle N1 neck, and here the shell plate, and the other here the other plates for the cradle and the common rebed and the nozzle necks. And you can export this nesting study to a CAD extension, so you can export it in DXF or MSI extension. Now let's discuss another feature for the available in the new release. A new feature now available for the API nozzles and flanges. Let's add a new nozzle as an API nozzle. Now when you select the nozzle as a nozzle from pipe, and from here you will find the ability to change the dimensions for the rebed in case of you have a reinforced rebed as a diamond rebed, so you can change the length and width of this rebed. And in case of you have a nozzle neck from plate, for example, if you have 24 inches nozzle like that, automatically the outside diameter of the pipe will be 610 millimeters. Now if you select user defined, now you will be able to change the outside diameters. For example, you can make it 600. You can change the length and the width of the reinforced bed. So that's an option here. Now if you would like to add a flange according to the API, when you select this flange node from the tree and select the API type, now you have an option to change the all flange dimensions, like the pipe OD and outside diameter of the flange, number of holes, the bolt circle diameter, all of that you will have an access to modify it manually. Now let's go to another feature available in the new release. Now a new feature available for the number of paths. So let's change the tube sheet inside diameter, and from here you will find in this list the number of paths. So you can select the 10 paths with that type. Select another type for the 10 paths. So as you can see, you will have 5 paths at the top and another 5 paths at the bottom, and you can change the configuration of the path partitions like that. Thank you so much for your time.